Thank you. How y'all doing? I don't have a slide presentation for you on my own PowerPoint. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about, I'm taking it down very granular now. We started out with big ideas about place and building economic vitality in a community. And now I'm going to take it down to the operational level and give you a little bit of the history of our story and what we're trying to do. Hey, Angela, how you doing? So my partner, Ari Weinsweig, and I, we opened Zingerman's Delicatessen back in March of 1982, so pretty soon is going to be our 31st anniversary. And really, all what in the beginning, I grew up in Detroit, and Ari grew up in Chicago, and back then, every neighborhood had a delicatessen where you could get a really great corned beef sandwich. You probably thought it was the best around. And here we were in the late 70s up in Ann Arbor, and it was a wasteland for that kind of food. You couldn't find a real corned beef sandwich. And we thought that, that would interest people. And when that Dyroff's Market, which was started in 1902 on the corner of Detroit and Kingsley, when that space became available, I went over and I woke up Ari on a Sunday morning, and I said, I found the location for us to open this delicatessen we've been thinking about. And so we sat down at his kitchen table, and on a Smith Corona electric typewriter, we typed out our vision of what we wanted. It was about 3 or 4 pages. And in it we said that what we wanted to serve a really great corned beef sandwich. That we were going to have these sandwiches that were so big it was going to take 2 hands to pick it up, and when you finally got up to your mouth and bit into it, the Russian dressing was going to roll down your arm. And that was really very, very clear in our heads before we started, before we made our first sandwich. And we also said we wanted to be unique. And for us, by definition, that meant there was only one of you. So we decided right then and there, sitting at the kitchen table, that if we were going to grow or expand, we would never do it by replicating. It would never be a chain. It would never be a franchise, a model for a franchise. We wanted to be really, really great, and we felt that you did that by staying local, by having ownership presence in the building all the time. And so we weren't interested in being the biggest. We really wanted to be the best. We wanted the name Zingerman's to take on a secondary meaning, so that if you went somewhere and you said, wow, that was a really good sandwich, but it wasn't a Zingerman sandwich, that was really what we were going after. And we also wanted to, well, has anybody ever been to the original Starbucks in Pike Market? Anybody? Some of you. So I don't know, for me, when I go in there, to this day, there's a sense of history. There's an energy level that's palatable to me. Has anybody ever gone to the Starbucks on the Ohio Turnpike? Do you get that? Do you get a big sense of history, a high energy level, some vitality? So that's what we wanted to avoid. And then we wanted an organization where decisions weren't going to be made based on who had the most authority, but rather who had a good solution, who had information and data relevant to the issue at hand. So we were going to push decision-making down as far as we could in the organization. And we didn't want, we believe that you earn your right to do business in a community. And you do that by being a responsible corporate citizen. And so you choose a location responsibly, you build responsibly, you produce and sell a product responsibly, you hire responsibly, and you create profit responsibly, and you share that responsibly with the people in your organization that helped you create that profit, and with the community that you were taking that profit from. And so for us, giving back to the community, taking significant action in the public sector to contribute to the social and the cultural and the educational vitality of the community was not something that we were going to do down the road if we become successful. We were going to build it into our budget from the beginning. It was a line item: rent, insurance, utilities, giving back to the community. And we felt that that's the way a good business was going to operate. And if we weren't going to be able to do it from the beginning, then we thought that our business plan was flawed and we were going to go back and work on it again. And so that's what we did. We started out that way. And as we went through the first 10 years, things were really great, and we were right. People wanted a really good sandwich. Our timing was good, other than, does anybody, we borrowed $20,000 against my house in 1982. Does anybody remember what prime lending rate was then? It was 18%. We borrowed at 2 over prime at 20%. But it was a time when better food was just starting to come into the public's consciousness. This is when we first started to know the names of chefs. Wolfgang Puck. Chefs were starting to become celebrities. So it was a good time for us too. We were lucky, and we worked really hard. And as we went through those first 10 years, things were going good, and it was exciting, and we were building that business up. About 10 years into it, I started to feel a little worried about what was going on, and I thought that our sales were flat and profitability was dipping, and there didn't seem to be the same joie de vivre in the organization. And we had a light leadership team, and there was a lot of disagreement about where's our threats coming from, and how do we mitigate those? Where's our biggest opportunities? How do we take advantage of those? And I also, when you would come and work for us, either you were going to spend 2 to 3 hours in an orientation class with either me or Ari. 31 years later, we're still teaching that class, and every single person that comes into the organization is going to spend those 2 to 3 hours with us, and we're going to talk about what's important to us, who we are, where we came from, and where we're going, and what your role is in that. And during that class, then I'd look at you and I'd say, you can make this job anything you want it to be. And if you're going to stake with a claim with us and make a career with us, then I have a responsibility along with you to see that that happens. But that wasn't ringing true anymore. We were this little small building. All the leadership roles were filled. You had to wait for somebody to die. And we were young then, and we weren't dropping dead left and right. And so, people wanted to grow professionally and financially. We wanted the people that worked for us to be able to live in the community, to raise families, to send kids to school. We wanted to provide that opportunity. So how are we going to do that but remain true to our vision that we are not going to go outside of Washtenaw County? We're a local business. And we had many, many opportunities to sell the brand. The offers, in the beginning, offers came in right and left on a regular basis. Here's the check. We're going to take Zingerman's, and we're going to open up in every Big Ten town. We're going to open up in every big city across. And it wasn't what we wanted to do. So we entered into a dialogue that took about a year, and we said that we said, okay, we have a really powerful brand right now. What if we leverage that brand to bring up a community, rather than to generate more profits for the owners of the organization? So we said that we would grow our organization by allowing the people that work for us to become owners in the brand. And so if you were entrepreneurial and you were passionate about a given product or service, and we're going to operate according to our guiding principles, then we were going to help finance that. And so that we were going to try to remove that barrier that most startups have, which is access to capital. We were going to help capitalize that. We were going to provide a core of shared services that would be at a level of service that you wouldn't be able to afford as a startup. we would partner with you, and you would operate according to our guiding principles, and you would carry the Zingerman name, and that's what we were going to do. We said we would open up 12 to 15 over the next 15 years. That was a vision we came up with in 1994 that took us to 2009. As 2009 approached, we realized we needed a new vision, and so we got together now with all of our partners, and we came up with a vision that now takes us out to the year 2020, which in many ways was a reaffirmation of our original vision, but we now wanted to take it a bit farther. And so for us, it was the kind of the byline, the marketing message of our vision was going to be changing the world with every transaction. And so we're going to spend a lot more focus on becoming a much greener organization. We didn't think about that when we first opened. So we have a goal over the next 7 years of having a zero carbon footprint and zero waste. And we also realized that we are not a very diverse organization. We didn't say we don't want to be diverse. It just didn't happen. It doesn't happen unless you work at it. So our goal now is that at the partner group, the members of the partners at a minimum will reflect the racial diversity of the county that we do business in. We also, so now we said we're going to have 15 to 18 businesses, again, all within Ann Arbor. And so really that's what we're working towards right now. We're also, within the next year, we have been working for 2 years now on our succession planning because, small, closely held family businesses, there's an issue of succession for that. So now we have that figured out, and within the next year we'll be an employee-owned organization, as we will offer the opportunity for ownership to a large sector of our employees. There's qualifications on that. You have to have worked for a year. And we're working on that right now. And we're also working on bringing the bottom up so that within the next year, working on having what we call everybody at a thrivable wage. We think a living wage is kind of a base minimum, and we want to have a wage where our employees thrive on. So that's what we do in order to try to help build a wealthy community, not necessarily defined by just creating value and wealth for the shareholders, but allowing everybody in the organization to be sharing, so that if we are financially successful, we want that success to be reflected in the personal finances of the people that work for us. And in that way, we believe we build a strong community. We have no interest in opening outside of Ann Arbor, and certainly not until the year 2020, because we're driven by a shared vision that we have. That's not anything that we'll be doing. That's where we are right now. Currently, what's in operation is, we have a farm out in Dexter. We recently bought the Hoy farm next to it, so we've added 26 acres. There's a pre-Civil War barn that we're taking down, shipping to Ohio to have rebuilt, coming back, going on a new foundation. That'll be an event space. There'll be a demonstration garden there. There's that old Victorian house where we're going to have cooking classes in and private dinners in there too, and also have farm dinners. We've recently bought a herd of goats. Last year, we're growing our goat herd because the people that supply us with goat milk in Michigan are disappearing, and we need to protect that supply. We also have bought a herd of Tunisian sheep because we have plans for opening a Tunisian restaurant, and it was really important to have the Tunisian lamb. Those are, and then we're also, we've had a food cart at Mark's Carts called Sand Street. Ji Hae Kim has been running that, and she'll be becoming a partner, and we're looking for a brick and mortar location for that too. So we started, Ari and I and 2 employees. We did a little under $100 our first day. We will end this fiscal year at the end of July with about over $47 million in sales, with 18 partners across 8 businesses and about 600 employees. And we're here to stay. We work on a long-term vision, and we're not going anywhere. Thank you. Happy for some questions.